Sometimes I kind of wish I was back in high school. While I love my career, there are a ton of responsibilities that come with growing up, and it puts a ton of stress on my mind and my body. This is perfectly summed up in a game I recently completed, which was Grand Theft Auto 3. Just a voiceless protagonist finishing up a ton of random tasks. But then I played a game that reflects the simplicity of high school. A game that makes the GTA formula manageable and gives you one of the best protagonists in a Rockstar game. And you'll get to experience a bit of that game too when I complete Bully.
Here comes a new challenger! Yes! Danger!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of The Completionist, where we don't just beat the games, we complete them. We have a little bit of a quick self-promo thing. I'm going to shout out you guys right now. First off, the Completionist live tour is happening right now. We have two shows, August 2nd in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and August 4th in Los Angeles at the Moroccan. Tickets are pretty almost sold out, so get in on those tickets. Get in on there. I'll see you guys there. Also, if you're going to be in the New Jersey area the week before, I will be at New Jersey GamerCon performing Big Bad Bosses, doing panels with some friends of mine, as overall just signing stuff and hanging out. So check those out. Links are in the description box down below. And hey, if you want to help us out with the show, patreon.com/completionist. For years, people have been bullying me to play Bully. No pun intended. I get comments all the time on Twitter and Tumblr about how I should play people's favorite game, Bully. So I said, you know what? Fine, I'll give in. And if I don't like the game, then I'm gonna let you know. Bitch.
To say that Rockstar's games attracted controversy would be an understatement. In fact, two of Rockstar's games, Manhunt and GTA San Andreas, are still considered some of the most controversial games of all time. How do you move away from that M rating but still keep the crime brand you're known for? Well, that's pretty easy. You take it to high school. To put it very simply, Bully is a GTA game, but in a high school setting. Instead of a massive city, you have a school and the areas just outside of it. Instead of cars, you have bikes. And instead of guns, you have slingshots, stink bombs, and other classic schoolboy paraphernalia. While there is violence, it is nowhere near the level of Rockstar's other games. These changes and a lack of blood led to Bully getting its T rating. So that means there should be no controversy, right? Not quite. Enter Jack Thompson. This dude is a disbarred lawyer who has been on a crusade against violence and sex in video games since as far as I can remember. Rockstar had always been one of his favorite targets, constantly trying to connect them to various murders. And Bully was his next scapegoat. Jack argued that the game would have a ton of negative psychological effects on teens, and that it should be banned because of it. He went so far as to call Bully a Columbine simulator. Yeah. This eventually led the game to being banned in Brazil, and the name having to be changed in the PAL region to Canis Canem Edit, Latin for Dog Eat Dog. So what is the plot for this Columbine simulator? You play as Jimmy Hopkins, a boy who has been expelled from 7 schools before finding himself at Bulworth Academy. Once there, Jimmy takes it upon himself to unite the different cliques in order to rise to the top of Bulworth Academy. Even though this is easily the most publicly acceptable Rockstar game, it received some of the most controversy because people refused to look at it for what it was. Instead, they judged it based on the games that came before it. And you shouldn't judge something for the actions of its parents. The Lion King Part 2 taught me that. Hashtag Kovu 2020. My biggest complaint about completing Grand Theft Auto 3 was that there was so much to do from the completionist perspective. It felt like a chore, and it got unbelievably tedious. Fortunately, that was not the issue with Bully. In fact, it's easily the most accessible and manageable GTA-style game that Rockstar's ever made. This is partially because Bully doesn't start you off in a massive city. The first chapter only takes place in the school. It is only after experiencing everything that the first chapter has to offer that you can then explore the town of Bulworth. This gives you the opportunity to really experiment with the basic controls and deeply understand the combat system, as opposed to how in other GTA games, you're immediately dropped into a massive urban sprawl and basically told, good luck. Whereas in the Grand Theft Auto games, you'd have a wide assortment of guns at your disposal to cause mayhem and make it through combat scenarios, with Bully, the focus is more on your fists. While you do have access to some childish weapons like firecrackers and bottle rockets, most fights are decided with hand-to-hand combat. You can block and counter moves, or if you've built up enough of a reputation, you can taunt potential combatants away. This may seem like a less flashy version of the chaos normally associated with the GTA series, however, Bully feels a lot more personal. Not only are you a kid going up against the big bully in school, you're getting right up in their face and not chucking grenades at them from across the map, which exemplifies how Bully feels more intimate and personal, as well as actually being smaller and more compact. Speaking of the map, gaining access to the town of Bulworth unlocks more activities, ranging from playing arcade machines, to working odd jobs, to visiting a carnival. And that's about it. Bully isn't nearly as chock full of random side missions as its big brothers. But because there isn't quite as much to do as there is in a standard GTA game, things never get overwhelming. And at the same time, I never ran out of things to do. But it's not like the smaller play area means that you'll get bored of the locations. In actuality, some variety is provided by the changing of the seasons. Like most school years, Bully's story takes place from the fall at the beginning of the school year and goes towards the summer in the end. These seasons bring with them some unique missions and activities that can only occur during their respective seasons. Snowball fights and snowmen? Only during the winter. Trick-or-treating or smashing pumpkins? Only during Halloween. Unless you're Billy Corgan. Then you're smashing pumpkins all the time. One of the things I most appreciate about Bully is the fact that there is a simple progress screen that keeps track of everything, from completion percentage all the way to how many sodas you drank. This makes completing all of the trophies so much easier and so much more palatable. And after how frustrating GTA 3 was, I'll take all the help I can get, especially when it comes to collectibles. The collectibles in Bully are the only thing I can confidently say are bigger than in Grand Theft Auto 3. Some seem monotonous at first, like collecting rubber bands or G&G cards, but others grant immediate results, like clothes. There are over 300 different articles of clothing that Jimmy can wear. Want to run around in a singlet? How about in a jailer's uniform? A bull costume? You can do all of that and more, and I love it. Nice, simple variety, all without the fuss of having to search an entire city. Even the achievements were manageable. Most are completed by simply playing the game, but others you have to go out of your way for. However, most of those achievements are tied to mini-games, and thankfully they're a lot of fun. The only achievement I didn't enjoy unlocking was the wheel deal, where I had to pop 200 wheelies. This was literally just me going back and forth on a long road, popping wheelies until I got the achievement. Completely not worth it. Normally, this amount of collectibles would drive me insane, but because the map was smaller and so dense with items, it never felt too big of a mountain to summit. However, I made one mistake. Originally, I played Bully off the shop on the PS4, but after I completed the game, I learned that there was another version altogether. Bully the Scholarship Edition for the Xbox 360, and technically speaking, that's the most definitive version of the game. This version has more classes, more missions, more costumes, and looks a lot better. And as the completionist, I couldn't in good conscience let this slide. So I completed the Scholarship Edition as well. And even with the fact that I had to complete this game twice, I still didn't get tired of Bully. Bully is never as grand or flashy as any of the GTA games, but I still never lost the joy of playing it. The game is a lot smaller, but it's scrappy and solid enough that it can more than hold its own against its more adult contemporaries. Although causing chaos and mayhem is fun, it's nothing if you don't have something to back it up with. Every Grand Theft Auto game has an amazing story, but Bully has one of the best protagonists in a GTA game. When screenshots first came out for the game, Jimmy looked to be just as the title of the game said, a bully. However, the more you play the game, the more you get to know him. He's the product of a broken home with a mom who constantly marries men who don't seem to care about Jimmy at all. They'd rather dump him at a notoriously tough private school than try to deal with him. And because of that, Jimmy feels that he has to act tough to keep himself safe. But underneath his gruff, abrasive exterior, there lies a decent person. And you get to see him start to grow into that person. You don't get better at the game by bullying everyone and being the toughest kid in school. You improve by going to class and building relationships with the various cliques. And while helping one clique hurts another, in the end, you earn the respect of everyone. Take, for example, Jimmy's relationship with Petey, Jimmy's only friend. Jimmy may not always treat Petey kindly, but you can tell that he cares for Petey by the way Jimmy will immediately jump to protect him no matter the situation. You actually watch Jimmy go from tolerating wimpy Petey to being his best friend. This growth in empathy can also be seen in the story missions where Jimmy takes dirty pictures of Mandy the cheerleader, but then changes his mind after seeing her crying. He realizes that his actions affect people and he wants to make it right. Now, I in no way condone his taking lewd photos of a fellow classmate, but it's still very nice to see him say, you know what? I was wrong. Jimmy Hopkins has deeper morals. This, my friends, is vastly different than every other GTA protagonist. Claude in GTA 3 is a silent protagonist who starts out as a criminal and ends as a criminal. Trevor from GTA 5 is always a psychopath, while Michael is a career criminal who wants to be normal but can't. But because Jimmy is still in high school, he still has the chance to actually become someone who stands up for the little guy like Petey. He can still be a good person, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. Rockstar VP Dan Houser said, I never saw him being that level of degenerate. I saw him as a bad teen because he comes from a tough home who could go either direction. He was an unpleasant soul, but he had heart. He's not trying to burn down the school, he's more trying to stand up to injustice. Now, I first came into this game thinking we were going to play as Scut Farkus from A Christmas Story, a mean redhead who tortures people. Instead, we got John Bender from The Breakfast Club. Jimmy has an abrasive exterior, but will go after the bad guy at the top of the food chain in order to protect his friends. And as the saying goes, you mess with the bully, you get the horny. Wait. Beating Bully unlocks Endless Summer, a free roam mode that lets you explore all of the town of Bullworth as much as you'd like. This gives you plenty of time to catch up on every collectible and mission you may have missed. However, this does not include winter or Halloween missions, so get those done as soon as they come up. While there is no big completion bonus at the end for doing everything, you do get a lot of rewards along the way for each thing that you do. Mostly, this results in more clothes. However, there are two rewards that come closer to the end of the completion process. The first comes from collecting every single rubber band across Bullworth, which gives you a rubber band ball. The rubber band ball is a weapon of pure chaos that will bounce all around a room and knock everyone on their ass. It is hilarious. The second bonus is for collecting every article of clothing in the game, and it's phenomenal. You get a gold lame suit in the style of Elvis Presley. Whoa, mama. Bully felt completely rewarding throughout the whole game. Even when I wasn't getting rewarded in terms of unlockables, I was rewarded by Jimmy's growth as a person. And what better reward is there than personal growth? While I completed Bully, there were 202 times busted or knocked out across 2 systems, 6 classes passed twice, plus 4 extra classes added in the Scholarship Edition, 75 rubber bands found twice, resulting in bouncy mayhem for all, over 600 total articles of clothing purchased between both versions, 60 hours of total playtime completing both games, and 1 full review repeating the word bully where I never made a Teddy Roosevelt reference. Damn it.
Being a Rockstar game, Bully was a lot more pleasant and fun to complete than something like Grand Theft Auto 3. In GTA 3, there were a lot of dumb and weird extra tasks to do, whereas in Bully, in both the original and the Scholarship Edition, there's a lot of content that's fun, easy, concise, and more importantly, it's focused. It's a lot more engaging than I feel with regards to completing the game. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of Complete It.
Complete it!
That's all the time we have today, guys. So please, as always, let me know what you thought about today's episode somewhere on the internet. If you like the show, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and bully me into doing another video that you want to do, like Yakuza 0. I wonder how many comments are going to say Yakuza 0. Either way, I'll see you guys next week for the brand new episode of The Completionist. And if not, then leave me alone. I don't want to be bullied by you. You're not my boss.